Hi everyone, Rayo from Instantly here, and I've been talking to a lot of cold email beginners, trying to help them get better results and trying to help them to figure out any kind of problems that they've been facing. And by doing that, I've started to notice certain behaviors, certain patterns, and I wanted to talk about these most popular mistakes that people make, especially beginners, and so it would help you avoid these right away and get everything right from the get go. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing I see people doing is they try to save every penny and go with alternatives. So saving money is totally understandable, but I just wanted to explain what often ends up happening when people do that. So they go with alternative choices. They end up with worse deliverability. They end up with a lot of issues that are really tough to troubleshoot because in these alternative choices most likely don't have really good support teams. They don't have really good help articles and so on. So if you're going to face any kind of issue, it's really tough to troubleshoot these. So what I would recommend doing instead is going with GoDaddy and Google for domains, Google and so for email accounts. So one thing on top of just like stability and like all the support and stuff is deliverability as well. So let's say you're going with Google accounts. Google is the biggest email service provider, so a lot of other people are also using Google. And we've seen that emails between the same email service providers have the best deliverability. So, for example, sending from Google to another Google account often performs better than when you're sending across these providers. So, let's say from Google to Zoho. So, I would just spend the extra buck, go with the biggest players, and it's going to save you a lot of headache down the line. So the second thing I often see is people max out all possible volumes per domain and account. So people often ask, how many emails can I send per email account, per domain, and so on. And we often say like 50 emails per day per email account is kind of the safe limit. And what people then do is they rush right into that limit. They start sending 50 emails per day right away, and they don't allow the account to warm up properly, and they don't scale into the volume properly as well. So what you kind of want to do is scale into these volumes gradually. So let's say you start sending like 5 emails per day per email account, and then you scale that up and you constantly monitor results. So if you see open rate, reply rate being healthy, you can increase the volume a bit, moving closer to the limits, and just taking it super slow. And if you want to send out more emails, then just get more domains and email accounts rather than pushing the limits for each single account. So that's what we see happening as well. People are often just lazy. They don't want to set up new accounts. They don't want to go through the warm up process again. So they just start sending out more emails per email account. And what ends up happening is that they just get stuck in spam and start having deliverability issues because they're just sending too many emails. So yeah, what you can do is just send out less emails. Because let's say if you're gonna be stuck in spam and no one's opening your emails, it doesn't really matter how many emails you're sending out, right? So you want to make sure that these emails are actually going where you want them to go before you start thinking about like serious volume. So yeah, that's the second thing. Then the third thing is they stuff their emails with images and links. And often what I see is these images and links that people want to add aren't super valuable for the people that they're contacting as well. So often they're just like nice to have things, let's say logos, images in the signature, and so on. So the first thing I would do is if you really want to add an image or a link, make sure that it's super valuable, that provides value for the people you're contacting. Whether it's something about the service, whether it's something like you want to show the product, something like valuable, and not just a nice to have thing that makes it like visually a bit more pleasing, because that's often not worth it. And the best thing you can do is ask for interest first. So let's say you send out an email asking if they're interested in finding out more. And once they reply back positively, that's when it's a good idea to add any links and images that you wanted to add. And yeah, so the main reason why you shouldn't do it is just it hurts deliverability. And we have a visual graphic for that as well. So we looked at like 32 million emails sent through instantly, and we just measured the reply rates for emails that had an image in it and emails that didn't have an image in it. And as you can see right here, emails without an image got a much higher reply rate than the emails that didn't have an image in it. And the similar thing goes for links as well. And so yeah, anytime you're adding links and images into cold emails, make sure that they're super valuable and make people respond positively and not just a nice to have thing. Because these nice to have images, they're not really worth the drop in replies that you're going to see. So the fourth thing I see people often doing is they write out one single copy and put it into a campaign or two, and then just leave it running, and then go back and check results every now and then. And often, what happens is they don't end up getting the results that they're looking for. So what you should be doing instead is A/B testing many different copies. So when we were running our own lead gen agency, we often for new clients created like 20 different copies at first, started testing out all of them, and usually just like a few of them were like real good winners. So it's really tough to land on a winning copy like right away on your first try. So you definitely have to test and switch them out regularly as well. And on top of that, use spin tags. So we have a video on that, how to use spin tags. I'll link that in the description as well, so you can watch that later. But basically making sure that not all of the emails you're sending out are going to be exactly the same. So one good reason to not do it on top of, let's say if you get lucky and you land on a winning copy right away, there's even a reason to not do that in that case too. So there's the thing called fingerprinting. So let's say a similar copy being sent out way too many times, email service providers can detect that. So they can basically see that there's this single email that's going out way too many times. So it must be spam. And that's how that copy ends up not working at all. So one good way to do that, to avoid this, is just to switch out your copies regularly, use spin tags so they're different all the time. And yeah, but the biggest takeaway is just testing many different copies. You're not going to probably land on the winner right away, so you just need to test a bunch of different options. And then the final thing that I often see as well is people just giving up too easily. They put up one campaign with one copy, use one single lead source, that doesn't work like they expected, and then they just give up. So like anything, cold emailing is a skill, and you just get better at it the more you do it. And the way you get better is testing different copies, testing different lead sources, testing different offers. So a lot of times I see people being super obsessed with like what email accounts to get, what volumes to send. But I think people should rather be obsessed about copies, lead sources, offers, and stuff like that. So that's kind of where the real skill comes into play. And the more you play around with different copies, test different lead sources, the better you get at it. So just put in more effort, test out different things. And for that, we have a really good video. It's called Do This for 30 Days and You'll Succeed with Cold Email. It's done by another co-founder of Instantly, Raul. And I would just start from there. So making sure that you follow the plan for 30 days and not giving up on the first week, or worst on the first day. And you'll probably outperform most other people trying out cold email. So just putting in more time, testing out more things is going to make you succeed for sure. So that's it from my side. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you learned something new. And thank you so much for watching, and see you later.